dear Mama Sal on her way to work, and I'm afraid to say it is another muggy, yucky day. I don't know what's happened to our weather this year. Now, I know that where I live, we're not what you call the world's greatest weather people, but we normally have unbelievable weather by this time of the year. And it is overcast and dark and rainy and trying very hard to ruin my spirit for the day, and I'm not going to let it because I'm in a good mood today. But I thought I'd just let you know that. It's just like, yuck, again. So I'm hoping that whoever controls the weather up there, the weatherman, that what he's decided is to have all the yucky weather during the week while we're at work, and then we'll give us beautiful weather because we have a long weekend this weekend. It's the Canada Day weekend, and so I'm praying that that's what's happening because, I've also got the wedding this weekend, so we definitely don't want to be having nasty weather round about now. So I'm going to keep my fingers crossed. Yeah, right. I'm going to keep my fingers crossed and hope that everything's going to be fine for the weekend. I think I'm going to have a look at the weather forecast. I haven't dared do it up until now, but now it's getting to the stage where I think I want to. So, boy, was I tired when I got home last night. I literally had a cup of coffee, decaf, just in case any of you are worried about that. A cup of coffee, checked the emails, answered the comments that I could. No, I answered all the comments, I think. And then decided I'd watch the news, and that's the last I remember until something after 10. So somewhere between 6 and 10 I slept. And then I had a real healthy dinner of peanuts. Yeah, right. I had peanuts for dinner, and then went straight back to sleep again, and didn't wake up until the alarm started going at 6 this morning. Now, you understand, I have so many alarms that go off that it's quite hysterical. I probably have about 6 different alarms. And the first 4 are just to sort of get me into the idea of waking up. I wonder if any of you have this problem. I am not a morning person. And so I really admire people who can jump out of bed and be wide awake first thing in the morning. And I have noticed that since I've been doing the vlogs and stuff, it has got a lot worse. So it really, I mean, you know me, I'm easily amused, so I sort of go, wow, this is tough going. But I am awake, and sort of, and I am on my way to work, which is a good thing. And hopefully it'll be a great day. I'm not quite sure what I've got planned for this evening. Probably about time I did my accounts. Do you ever get that feeling like, okay, fine, I know I would like to believe that I'm better organized than that, but I think it's time I had a good look at them. So, I wonder how your week's going so far. It's Tuesday, which means tomorrow's hump day, which for me is today, of course, because I don't work Fridays. So I'm really looking forward to that. I'm getting quite excited about these long weekends, and because I think Monday is also a day off, I get a very long weekend this weekend. And then a very short week next week because it's only Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday for me. Yes, I like that. So maybe I will be able to get those kitchen cupboards finished this weekend. I was really pleased at how good they're looking, I must say. I was just looking at the pictures again yesterday. I'm going, yep, that's a definite improvement. And I've got to try and get a screenshot of how they used to look from that old video. just so we can do a proper comparison of the two. And you can see what a difference one coat of paint and some new hinges can make. And I haven't even got the doorknobs on yet. I mean, I'm going to put doorknobs on them. But it really is. It's amazing what a coat of paint will do in a room, to a cupboard, whatever. Really recommend that you look at that as an option. Now, of course, my contractor didn't want me to do that because he wanted me to spend 20 grand on new cupboards, and I understand that totally. And if I had had 20 grand that I didn't know what to do with, I would have gone that route. But unfortunately, I didn't. And I did want to pull down the wall between the kitchen and the dining room to create an open plan feeling. But again, a lot of money to do that, and then it would have been very, very difficult. So when I'm rich and famous, I'll do it. Or, you know, if the world decides to drop a lump sum of money in my lap and say, here you go play, I will do it. But up until then, I'm just going to make the kitchen look as best I can. And it's not looking too bad now. I must admit the appliances made a big difference. So I'm hoping that all of you are having a wonderful week, and that life isn't too difficult for you. I've had some really tough emails from people. Really tough. I had one that I wanted to let you know about from, I think, quite a fairly young viewer. I don't think she gave me her age. But here was the story, and I wonder if any of you, A, relate to it, and B, I wonder if any of you remember being in this space, because I surely do. By the way, from the picture that was attached to her name, she is gorgeous. I mean, this is not an ugly person. This is a gorgeous looking young lady. And she was telling me that she had a boyfriend and been dumped by him, and that had really upset her. And then she got a second boyfriend, and then the second boyfriend had decided to dump her and was going out with somebody else. But the second boyfriend had invited her to his graduation party, and she was telling me that she wanted to go because she didn't want to stay at home thinking about how much fun he was having with somebody else. So she was going to go. And I must admit, I wrote to her and said, why on earth would you go to watch him having fun with somebody else? That is torture. I mean, that isn't even anything other than pure torture to do that to yourself. And so I asked her to seriously reconsider it and rather, plan to do something else that night. And I'm very pleased to tell you she did write back and see where I was coming from on that one. I don't often tell people what to do. I try and give them choices, but that one, I have to say, it's just like, why would you do that? Why would you go and torture yourself? And the reason I'm asking you guys is because I can remember doing that to myself. And then I can also remember sort of, well, maybe if I go and he'll remember how great I am and he'll dump the other person. Yeah, right. That was my reasoning. But the truth was, he'd moved on. And I say this time and time again, men move on far faster than women do. Men just go, okay, that's over, next. And in a heartbeat, they seem to be able, and not all, I know there's some that struggle, but overall, they just go next, and they move on. The baggage is gone, that's it. On to the next one. And we don't, women don't. We hang on to it for the longest time. I'm not suggesting that we should literally not have any feelings about it and just go next, but somewhere there has to be a happy medium on this one. And I think as you get older, you do get that. As you get older, you start going, really, I don't need to be in a relationship this badly. And by the way, I've said that a couple of times where literally I don't need to be in a relationship that badly. Whereas in the old days I did. Today I'm quite happy in my own skin. If one comes along, fine, I'll consider it. But in the meantime, I'm really not sort of overly worried about it. And so, but I do remember the pain, and that's what I wanted to acknowledge, was I remember the pain of that when I was young. And I was a hopeless romantic, as you probably have heard before, and therefore, you know, it was doubly painful for me. Anyway, I thought I'd put that out there and get your feedback, see how many of you are also hopeless romantics, and how many of you can relate to what this young lady wanted to do, and see what your feedback is. I'm now, as you know, 3/4 of the way to work, so this is Dear Mama Sal saying bye for now.